the major universities are being pretty much privatized for the rich. They're becoming like Ivy League colleges. And for the rest of the system, it's being slowly modified to technical training for the rest. And that's happening across the country. By now, in most states, tuition covers more than half of the costs for the state colleges. Pretty soon, only the community colleges will be publicly financed under current tendencies, and even they are under attack. So analysts agree, I'm quoting, that the era of affordable four-year public universities, heavily subsidized by the state, may be over. And there are similar developments in the private universities where the costs are just out of sight. That's a very important way to implement the indoctrination of the young. Students come out of college in a debt trap. They don't have many options. And the debt trap is now approaching $1 trillion beyond credit card debt. And it's an exceptionally punishing kind of debt. Like most debt you can get out of in unpleasant ways. You can escape through bankruptcy. Can't do that here. There's no expiration date on the debt. Collectors can garnish your wages for the rest of your life. Social Security, unemployment benefits, forever. You're trapped. For the students, that's a very effective trap for life. It does sharply cut down options, particularly when employment opportunities are weak. Actually, the basic idea was explained by one of the trustees of the New York State University system. He said, there's been a shift from the belief that we as a nation benefit from higher education to a belief that it's the people who are receiving the education who primarily benefit, so they should foot the bill. And that's the new spirit of the age again. Actually, that belief is not among the population, it's among the principal architects of policy, and it's always been their belief. But now they feel in a position to implement it under the rising assault. Well, as usual, the main victims are the most vulnerable. In this respect, it's quite similar to subprime lending, which went after the poorest, most vulnerable. And there's an educational analog to that. It's called for-profit colleges, which are mostly scams. They seem to offer opportunities, but when you take a closer look, say just take debt figures, turns out that about 96% of the people, they're mostly poorer people, about 96% are in debt, and within 15 years, it's about 40% default. So they're not only trapped, they're robbed. And the kind of education they get isn't much either. Well, the Mexico-California comparison illustrates a crucial point. The reasons for the conscious destruction of the greatest public education system in the world, the reasons are not economic. Mexico's a poor country, we're a rich country. And there are many other cases, including rich societies, like say Germany or Finland, which ranks highest in educational achievement in the world. It's free. Actually, post-war US experience is another example. In the post-Second World period, there was a program, the GI Bill, which enabled a huge number of people who would never have been able to go to college at public expense. And it was very rewarding for them, and it was also extremely beneficial to the country. In fact, that's a large part of the reason for the golden age, economic golden age. So once again, like austerity under recession, the policy of closing this off makes absolutely no economic sense, but it is a good technique of class warfare. Not economic, but not necessary, but a technique of indoctrination and control, and in that regard, it's quite valuable. Well, in parallel to all of this, there's a process of corporatization of the universities going on. There's a huge increase over the past 30 years, 35 years, huge increase in highly paid administrative staff. Payment is way beyond the level of anything except maybe football coaches. Increasingly, they're professional administrators. In earlier days, administration, which wasn't much of a big deal, was just carried out by faculty on temporary leave or something. Now it's professional administrators, very high paid, carrying with them the corporate culture. There's a very good study of the process by a well-known sociologist, Benjamin Ginsberg. It's called The Fall of the Faculty, the Rise of the All-Administrative University and Why It Matters. And one effect is to introduce the corporate culture into the universities.